This is The Wire for 2300 Zulu, January 9th, 2026. Precedence is routine. Information cutoff is 2200. Bottom line up front. Protests continue as another vehicle ramming and shooting incident involving federal agents occurs overnight. Evacuations underway in Kiev as Russia strikes critical infrastructure serving the city. Beginning with international events, in Ukraine, overnight, major strikes were reported throughout the country as Russian forces conduct large-scale missile strikes on multiple fronts. Russia conducted an Oreshnik IRBM strike on the Bilke-Voletsko-Uhersky natural gas storage facility in western Ukraine. Large-scale drone strikes were also reported throughout Kiev, which damaged infrastructure, including the city's water supply. Analysts comment. These strikes were the largest to hit Ukraine during the war so far. At the moment, battle damage reports have not been made public. However, the use of an Oreshnik, which has only been used once so far during the war, would have undoubtedly crippled the gas storage facility which serves most of Ukraine, including Kiev. The mayor of Kiev has urged citizens to evacuate due to the inability for utility services to provide heating for most of the city. In the Caribbean this morning, the United States seized another oil tanker attempting to flee Venezuela. The merchant tanker Olena was seized off the coast of Trinidad as part of the widening operation to target Ghost Fleet vessels smuggling oil out of Venezuela. This brings the total number to 5 tankers seized so far. On the home front, in Oregon, yesterday evening a state of civil unrest broke out after a shooting was reported involving Customs and Border Patrol. CBP agents conducted a traffic stop of a known TDA member and his wife on Southeast Main Street in the vicinity of the Adventist Health Campus. During the traffic stop, the TDA member attempted to ram officers with his vehicle, prompting the shooting. From there, the suspects egressed from the area to the east, where they were found by Portland PD officers on East Burnside Street with gunshot wounds. In the hours after the shooting, riots broke out throughout the city and carried on throughout the night. In Utah, yesterday evening, an ambush was reported in Ogden, which originated from a domestic dispute. Local authorities initially responded to reports of shots fired at a single-family residential home on East 5800 South, in a subdivision south of the intersection of Highway 89 and Crestwood Drive. When authorities arrived, the suspect began firing at police by engaging them from within the home with small arms. A barricaded shooter situation developed, and after a few hours, the suspect was detained by SWAT and identified as James Joseph Rios. Concerning casualties, 2 neighbors were wounded by the shooter during the initial engagement that prompted the police response. Analysts comment. What initially prompted this incident is unclear. At the moment, it looks like Rios simply decided to start shooting at his neighbors either randomly or due to a mental health incident. However, the investigation is still underway, so more details may come to light over the next few days. Analyst comments for this wire. In Minneapolis, the situation is deteriorating on multiple fronts. Following the ICE-involved shooting a few days ago, Antifa forces have moved into the area to establish an autonomous grieving zone at the site of the shooting involving Renee Good. Portland Avenue from East 34th Street to 33rd Street was blocked, with barricade obstacles preventing people from freely migrating through the area. Early this morning, locals reported that police moved in to clear the obstructions from the street. However, a significant agitator presence remains throughout the area. Around the city, atmospherics aren't great. Rioters continue to cause civil unrest, and open and clear threats to federal agents have become routine. These threats aren't just screaming obscenities or generally nasty language. Very elaborate and deliberate threats are being made. In one case, a woman was heard shouting her plans to use federal employment databases to hunt down and murder ICE agents when Trump leaves office because their people will be in charge and have the historic payroll data of who was employed during this period of time. These very specific threats are not idle hyperbole and convey the seriousness and deliberation that is already being undertaken by far-left groups to murder anyone enforcing U.S. immigration law. This concludes The Wire for 2300 Zulu, January 9th, 2026.